So let's begin. Hello and welcome, everyone. This is Shahid Inayat, and I'm representing Legend Consults. We are a business immigration company based in the UK, and we specialize in business immigration, particularly innovator founder visa, global talent visa, and sponsorship licenses. We are very honored and privileged to have a wonderful guest speaker with us, Buket Erdogan from Aston Law. Um, and she's the perfect person to share all the details about how the Global Talent Visa endorsement process works from A to Z. So this is all about Global Talent Visa, and hope you enjoy it. Feel free to ask any questions. We are going to go through a presentation which will cover all the topics related to what the Global Talent Visa is about, how the endorsement process is takes place, what are the do's and the don'ts, what are the pitfalls, what happens if you get refused. So every thing that could possibly come into your mind, we will address everything. You are most welcome to ask questions through the chat, and we're going to take the Q&A session at the end of the presentation. So let's welcome Solicitor Buket Erdogan from Ashton Law. I believe it would be great if you can introduce yourself best, so people can know a bit about yourself before you start talking about the Global Talent Visa. Before I hand over the mic to Buket, I'm just going to share what this webinar is actually about. So it's about a very interesting opportunity because with the immigration to UK is becoming trickier by the day. And the best routes to UK immigration are right now the way through Global Talent Visa or the Innovator Founder Visa. Particularly this one because this one really helps you to establish your profile as a leader in technology in the UK and grow as a and grow in that career. So this is what today's webinar will be about, and I'll hand over the mic to Buket now. Thank you.
Hi,
I'm
thank
going to
you. Thank you,
stop
Shahid.
sharing, and I believe you can um, share yours.
Yeah, I'm going to try that. Not very good at doing that. So if you have it on ready and share it, that would be amazing.
Yes, yes, sure.
Perfect. So thank you very much for your invitation to the Legend Group for hosting this event and for me to talk about Global Talent Visa today. My name is Buket Erdogan, and I have been working in the legal sector for over 10 years. Currently, I'm a solicitor at Ashton Law, and we deal with all matters of immigration and appeals and judicial reviews. So civil litigation, part of it, as well as immigration applications. And we aim to take on a few cases, but become successful doing them rather than taking on a bulk of cases. So we take pride in our success rate, which is, I'd say, 100%, because we do not take anything that would be risky or that would be, that would have a leaning in being refused. So we try to do as much as we can to make it work for everyone, because we don't find it principally ethical to take on any case and, not be successful in it. And I think this is what everyone wants as well. Due to the hot air in the UK regarding immigration, it's impossible to take on any case right now because it's just a really hot topic and we don't know where it's going to go. So I think everyone's on toes until 12th of February to see how the consultation is going to end. And yeah, so as someone from a Turkish background, my passion started for immigration because I was an immigrant myself, and I had to be separated from parents for a few years. So I think that was my trauma was my career path. Apparently, when I realized I wanted to do immigration, it started off with family reunion applications, but now we navigate the process of moving business people, moving families. So it does spread in a span of other immigration categories. But today we're going to currently focus on global talent visa under TechNation. There are 6 endorsing bodies, and TechNation is one of them, one of the most prestigious endorsing bodies in the UK. And we're going to dive into the details of the TechNation. Generally, global talent visa is on high demand since 2011. That's when it all started. But in 2020 February, they flexed the requirements. Let me put it that way, because it used to be with less endorsing bodies, and the endorsing bodies had number of limited applicants. But since February 2020, it does ease a little bit. Of course, there are some bits and bobs that's changed. But the core of the application is to find leaders rather than finding successful people, because I know almost 70% of the UK would say they are successful in all they do, but that's not necessarily a starting point for a global talent visa. So we will dive into the details of those now. So if we can maybe go on to the next slide, that might be amazing. Okay, I talked about myself, so we can skip this. Yeah, so just to touch point on the other visa categories for talented people. I know it's not today's topic, so I'm just going to briefly go over them, which innovator founder is one of them. An innovator founder is for entrepreneurs with innovative ideas, which can be turned into expandable businesses and businesses who would be able to provide employment for other people. So it's not just about having an idea either. So you have 3 categories to fulfill: innovative, viable, and scalable business ideas. So an endorsement from an approval. So there are 4 endorsing bodies. 3 of them are privately endorsing applications, and one of them is the government. So on the Global Entrepreneur Program, you can specifically and some ideas could be taken by the government because they don't want to leave it to anyone else. And they're right in that, because if it's going to help in the health sector, if it's going to help in the technological sector, then they take it. They tend to be more appetite for them. And the other ones are Innovator International Investors and UK Innovator Visa. So 3 of them are very, very experienced, and I think investors are the only one that's with that can provide, that are backed with FCA, I think, if I'm not wrong. So all of them endorse ideas, creative ideas. And it gives the person to set up a company in the UK. So unlike global talent visa, you're more flexible. You can work for any place, and you can have your own company. So you can work freelance as well as working for someone, as long as you're fulfilling while you have received your global talent visa. It should just be smoothly running until you're eligible for an indefinite leave to remain. And obviously there's the global mobility visa, which you want to expand your business to the UK. We can say that this might be a similar version to representative of an overseas company visa, which was closed a few years ago. And the global mobility visa, the UK expansion worker visa, does not necessarily directly lead to indefinite leave to remain. However, UK does give you 12 months to establish a UK branch, which hasn't been established before, and see how you're getting on, which can be turned into a full licensed business later on down the line. So we tend to analyze the business before it's established in the UK and after it's established in the UK. So Amongst all these, yes, of course, again, our favorite one is Global Talent Visa, and we're going to dive into that now. Yes, Shahid, if you can go on to them. Okay, so recently there was a technician reappointment because these endorsing bodies, they regularly being updated and being given the license to be the endorsing bodies by the government. So recently, they have had the appointment, which was April, I think it was April 2025, and then it was confirmed in August 2025. So in April 2025, after a competitive procurement process, the Home Office formally reappointed Technation again as the endorsing body for digital technology applicants, and this contract would also run for at least another 3 years. So another 3 years, we can have a span of applications that's increasing, and obviously with the possibility of extension, however that's going to be in light of the new changes. The decision is really, this whole application decision is really important because uncertainty previously existed regarding who would access digital technology endorsement applications, and many applicants, they hesitated to prefer portfolios due to speculations within the technician team. And it might be replaced or not. So they didn't really know how it was going to proceed. But for the next 3 years, it has now been declared that it's going to be them, and not very much of a change we've seen in their requirements. Hopefully not in the next 3 years, I'd say. So Technation's established evaluation methods and technical expertise will remain at the heart of the endorsing process, giving applicants confidence in how their evidence will be judged. So yes, we could go on to the next one, please, Shahid. So just to give you a bit of a background, before August 2025, because some of the people are already on Global Talent and they want to extend it, so I'd like to give a little bit more information of the background. Before August 2025, the Global Talent endorsement process was unnecessarily complicated. The applicant had to complete both the Home Office Stage 1 and endorsement form on basically .co.uk, and a separate technician application form, which with the help of solicitors, obviously it was easy because we knew the system. And even one of these was missing or submitted incorrectly, the Home Office and the endorsing body, sorry, would automatically refuse it. So the replace of it, the form simplification, one form instead of two, is now obviously has been grasped in the most better way. So from 4th August 2025, dual form system is entirely removed, and applicants now can complete the one stage endorsement form, and therefore it will significantly reduce the administrative forms, errors, duplication of information, and we thought that previously, I think most of the refusals were received because of that, because we have seen and overturned decisions in refused ones, and this was maybe one of the reasons why they were refused, not because the applicants were unsuccessful, but because the system was forced to refuse such applications. It was confusing for Home Office too. So if anyone had received any refusals in the past and has been put off by it, I think it's time that you maybe reopen your files again, because it might not just be the application that you prepared, it might be the error that they had before August 2025. And I can now, confidently move on to the two types of digital technology applicants, because this is where some of the people get confused. The Technation recognizes two distinct applicant profiles for endorsement. One is technical applicants and one is business applicants. And the distinction is essential because the evidence and the achievements required differ depending on the applicant's background. And the technical, I'll start from the technical applicants, because business applicants are, in my opinion, more complex. Technical applicants are individuals who design, build, and engineer technology. So basically, these may include software engineers, data scientist, so whatever that comes into mind quickly when you say technical, or when you say someone who knows IT, AI and machine learning processes, cybersecurity, gaming specialist, DevOps engineers, cloud architects, and many others who create and implement technological systems. So we can put it this way. To qualify as a technical applicant, you must demonstrate that you have a deep expertise in building the digital infrastructure. So you have to have the development technological tools. You have to be using your advanced technology stack. So your evidence is to show that your contributions are directly to the creation, innovation, and improvement of digital products or digital solutions. So technical applicants, creation, innovation, and improvement of such products in the digital solutions. Whereas business applicants, it differs a little bit, because business applicants, on the other hand, is where individuals who contribute to the success of digital products. So from a commercial and strategic perspective, obviously they're not looking for people who are very good at marketing. So if we give you a glass of water, I know you'll find ways to, it's like the wall of the walls. If I give you a pen, it's not like having the ability to sell that pen or sell thousands of that pen. It's knowing your product is digital and that it's going to make an impact in this world. So this business group includes product managers, commercial directors, startup founders, operation leaders, and venture capital professionals who specialize in digital product companies, because these applicants must show that their work has had a measurable commercial or strategic impact on the specific product-led projects and technology businesses. Because, for example, you might be a venture capitalist and venture capital professional, and you would have a digital product which is likely to go and be sold or be invested in at Silicon Valley. That way, with that product and with that background, you can show that you are a business applicant and you have all of the attributes to fulfill that. So evidence should demonstrate that how you influence the revenue, how you influence growth, how you influence product strategy, user adoption, or invest in digital products. So importantly, applicants must be tied to product-led companies rather than general marketing or service-based organizations. I think this is where most people make the most common mistake. Having a very good marketing brand management background is unfortunately not going to make you eligible to apply for this. You have to have the product-led commercial awareness, revenue. If you have helped, for example, as I said, if you have helped a unicorn company earn 3,000 or 3 million pounds of product selling or revenue, and it caught attention of Harvard or England in the field of, for example, gaming, then we have something to hold on to and something to carry with to regard you as an eligible applicant. And the mandatory criteria is, as I said, okay, I think we can go to the next one. Shay, thank you. And I would say that to be endorsed, every applicant must satisfy the mandatory criteria. So it requires demonstrating either that you are already a leader in your field, as I said before, or that you show strong potential to become one. Because leadership in this context means more than just holding a senior job title. Applicants must demonstrate a present and evidence of influence, innovation, recognition within the digital technology sector. You can't just, have for example, have your news broadcasted on any channel. If it's through, for example, London Tech Week, then that's what matters for us. For you to be able to be reviewed as a potential candidate. So this can include leading high impact projects, driving innovation, being recognized by industry peers is what we want. And you shape the strategic decisions maybe in the digital product environment. So evidence should clearly show how the applicant has made this significant contribution, revenue, growth, statistics that you can provide, and we need to then show how your expertise stands out in the as opposed to others in the same similar career stage. And yeah, and in addition to this mandatory criteria of having this innovation and reputation, applicants must also choose and meet at least 2 of the 4 optional criteria. And this is really important because it does mean a lot when you're a promising applicant or when you're a talented applicant. And applicants who choose the innovation criteria must demonstrate that they have a product produced in the most innovative way and to work in the digital sector. Sometimes we have inquiries and we sort of thought that advising this client in the global talent visa is not going to be very suitable, so we sort of direct them to innovative founder visa. Sometimes it works, sometimes they go and find another high senior job level. So we need to find out what this innovation means within their sector and their profile. Secondly, it's the recognition beyond the applicant's occupation. As I said, under this, applicants must show that they have contributed to the broader digital technology ecosystem. Their contribution is at utmost importance when it comes to the outside of their formal job role. Thirdly, their commercial and technical or entrepreneurial impact. So applicants must demonstrate that they have played a significant role in delivering commercial or technical outcomes. Having worked for Apple and having worked in a team of 10 does not necessarily give you the right to apply for this visa or choose this optional criteria of commercial, technical, or entrepreneurial impact. If you were leading the project as the key person within that 10 people team, we might have something to work with. But if you're one of the people who are equally important, then that might not necessarily give us the incentive to make an application for global talent visa. You need metrics, you need financial outcomes, you need quantifiable results to show us. And on the 4th criteria, it's the academic contributions. You can also choose this. So if you don't directly have the experience in leading a team or improving a product within a team, then this is into the academic contributions are intended for academic research involved applicants. So evidence can include peer-reviewed publications, academic rewards, research fellowships, like the fundings and contributions that you have from other universities. So based digital technology products, but in the academia side of things could also work for you. So the work must be recognized by experts in academia or research institutions. So you have to show that you're an active researcher, and this experience could replace someone who has the same experience in the area, in the actual physical area that they do. And yes, as we
Right. Buket, sorry to cut you,
Thank
but just wanted to
yeah.
clarify on just on this slide
Mhm.
that is it at least 2 of these, or is it it has to be 2, it cannot be more than 2.
Well, it
Somebody
can be
might have innovation,
at
recognition, and
least,
research.
yeah. At least 2 of the 4 optional criteria. Yes, it can be more, but we're limited with the number of evidences, so we need to choose the best one. So out of 10 evidences, if there's more that we could work with and that will make the application stronger, obviously, it doesn't have to be limited to 2, it can be more.
Great, thank you.
And if we move on to evidence requirements, then what we could say for what applicants must provide is that global talent is one of the most, evidence-heavy immigration routes, I must say. Applicants may submit up to, just as we talked about it, they may submit up to 10 pieces of evidences in addition to a full CV and 3 letters of recommendation. Evidence must be clearly attributable to the applicant and directly related to the leadership, innovation, or impact. So emails, job descriptions, or internal documents are not necessarily sufficient unless they contain verifiable achievements or specific contributions in terms of technical or commercial fields. So strong applications include external validation, such as press coverage in the likely area. So any press coverage is not going to be enough. But if it's in the, for example, a magazine that Silicon Valley publishes or London Tech Week publishes, then yes, obviously that's something that we can use. Because if you see a doctor's life on a magazine, but don't read any articles about it, it's same as that. It has to be reputable sources that is actually broadcasting or publishing your research or your writing. So strong applications it has to include external validation, but such as product performance data, awards, patents that you apply for, trademarks, or GitHub contributions. We also check that, or evidence of speaking engagements. As I said, if you go and have a TEDx talk about digital applications, digital work, digital product, then that's something that we can also use. Or if you go to London Tech Week and you're one of the guest speakers and you're talking about a product that you're actually selling within a company which has made an impact in an innovative digital world, yes, you have something to present to as a potential leader, because you don't just sit behind the desk, but you also lead. You have this, because not everyone who's successful at their job is able to apply for this type of visa. Anyone could be successful, but you have to make an impact in your field. You have to be a leader, or you have to have the attributes of being a potential leader, so that they can regard you as someone who can make a global talent impact in the UK. Because it's not only us proving that you're a leader, it's also to show that once you're in the UK with this visa, you're going to continue leading and you're going to make an impact in the world of UK economically, socially. So that's why they're seeking for leaders. And being successful is part of it, but not necessarily the core requirements of it. So also another important point is letters of recommendation. So we have detailed explanations and expectations. So every applicant must provide 3 letters of recommendation for this type of visa, and it has to be written by senior individuals from 3 different reputable organizations. If you've been working for a very successful IT company, we need to know what that IT company does, and go through it in detail, assess their product details, because any company that's dealing with AI, cybersecurity, game, whatever it is that your specialized area is not going to help. If we know that it's a reputable organization and it's one of the best ones in the world, and I'm not saying that it has to be Apple, it has to be Nvidia, but we have to assess it to understand whether these referees are recognized authorities. Because when you need this reference letter for someone to endorse you, you also expect them to be at that level of professional expertise. So what the Home Office is expecting is, if this person is writing this recommendation letter, it is not a job application reference letter that you get from your old boss or previous boss. It has to be from someone who has made an impact already in the field, that is telling UK that yes, this person has an eye for goods. This person has an awareness of commercial product-led digital world. So that person is the one that the Home Office is going to rely on to endorse you. So that those reference letters are really important. Not all of them. So for Arts Council, it's different. You have to have at least one from the UK. For Technation, you don't have to have UK letters, but we recommend having one from a UK reputable company is very important. If it's not from the UK, as I said, it's not a mandatory criteria, but we tend to recommend this way for a better outcome. And we talked about product-led requirement, product-led, field. So I want to explain this, because what is this product-led requirements? I think the defining feature of this digital technology route is its focus on product-led digital technology companies, and how Technician defines, although it differs from my explanation or definition, how Technician define this is as business whose primary revenue comes from this proprietary digital product. So you have to have this special digital product, platform, tool, or hardware that you're making your revenue from. You can't be an Estee Lauder but work on the side of working with its application to make it more appealing to customers. So we can't just say, but if you're on the technical side of, for example, Estee Lauder, which you're the key person, and what you're doing, your contribution is increasing revenue, that's when we get the gist of it. That's when we get your application recognized as leader, not because you're doing some graphic designing on the app for Estee Lauder, but you're making the revenue grow financially, and you're helping the product go somewhere completely different than just being a free downloadable app on your phone. And that's why this is an important distinction, as applicants who work for agencies, consultancies, or service-driven businesses often struggle to demonstrate this whole alignment with this structure, with this requirement. So applicants must show that they worked on a contributed, digital products, and such as software, platforms, digital tools. Just as I explained, it has to be the core of it. Cloud systems, mobile apps, but apps that have rocketed sales, or apps that have attracted more customers than ever before. So for example, AI-driven technologies. So you have to tell me that you're on the technical side of this, or commercial, but increasing technical side of it. So it has to have the technical side of it in both of the business or the technical skills. And I also want to quickly touch point on why applications are mainly refused is because it's for predictable reasons, to be honest, because we turn down quite a lot of applications during a month. As I said, we take pride in just taking a few applications rather than taking a bulk of 50 inquiries. And this is because one common issue is outdated evidence, and especially achievements that are older than 5 years old or relate to a very old early career work is unfortunately insufficient, because all of the endorsing bodies that can only go back 5 years. If it's less than 5 years, then it's either a promise, so exceptional promise application. So you're at the university, but you have a tendency to be a potential leader. So that's why you only have 3 years of experience. This case is completely different. But if you have 25 years of experience and you can't show the intensive 5 years, the last 5 years, then going back what you did 16 years ago is not going to get us the application approved, unfortunately. So another reason is that applicants do not clearly show their personal contribution to a product or project. Just as I explained, you might be working for Estee Lauder for the app. The sales might be rocketing, but your contributions may not be in the most presentable way, or you don't have the figures, you don't have the statistics. You need accounts, you need financial documentation to show that your contributions actually mattered. Getting a reference letter from the manager or the supervisor is not going to prove this. So panels frequently reject applications where the applicant seems to have played against the sort of generalist role rather than contributing directly or raising the innovation impact of the product or the development. So and I think other reasons, they include submitting weak or generic reference letters. As I said, the reference letters has to be personalized. Therefore, as principle, we don't provide templates. So there's no template that will go with every application. And ChatGPT templates, please avoid, because First, you're making a technician application, so digital application in the area, so these people will find out. Secondly, it doesn't necessarily, so if you have a generic template, it's not going to show how much of a leader you are, because every field or every company or the individual you worked for or you worked under is going to say something different about the product. All these places that you're providing a letter for, the product is not going to be the same. Your contribution is not going to be the same. So these people who are already eminent professionals, globally recognized leaders who are providing you with the letter is also in need of providing detailed explanation as to how they think that you are a successful leader who will have this approval, the project details, the money that you made them, the growth that the revenues had while you contributed. So these people will also have these details. If you send us your letters, these will be sort of like crossed if it's a generic letter. And I think that's where Legend Consults also provide help to their customers. So provide these letters, provide the content of these letters. And when the letters come to us, we assess it and we assess the success rate of these letters, and we sort of like exchange in between to see which one would work better. And before everyone was drafted or every letter is drafted, we actually take the names and the companies first and the nature of the work that's done, because having a letter and then going back and forth with these people is not very viable. So we initially ask for the details of them. And obviously many unsuccessful applicants, they provide evidence of being very active, attending events, participating in projects, but fail to demonstrate the actual impact. We don't need to know that you have attended London Tech Week. We need to know why you attended London Tech Week and how you can relate to that attendance as evidence of being a leader in your field. If you just attended and watched the person talk, then that's not going to give us the idea that you're a leader and you attended, because millions of people attend London Tech Week every year. Therefore, you need to tell us the impact of attending it and why, the reason. And if we go on to so the as I said, the route that you're going to apply for will change in between exceptional talent and exceptional product promise, and the practical difference is what makes a difference. It offers two categories, yes, and it's intended the talent one, the exceptional talent one, is intended for those who are already recognized as leaders. So you actually have a name, you actually have a product, or you have led a product in the most commercially awareness way, and you have made that product, rocketed all of these sales. And this is when individuals usually have a substantial track record and they evidence achievements and recognition from industry and academic experts. And successful applications under this category may apply for permanent settlement after only 3 years in the UK. Whereas exceptional promise is designed for emerging leaders, who are earlier in their careers but show strong potential to become leaders in digital technology. So the evidence should demonstrate upward success rather than just long established leadership. So applicants are endorsed under this category may apply for settlement after 5 years, subject to today's conditions, subject to today's requirements. Therefore, selecting the appropriate category is also critical, because overestimating one's level of seniority and applying for exceptional talent, for example, without corresponding to the evidences that are often required is just going to end up in refusal, unfortunately. Yeah, so I'm mindful of the time, and I like talking about global talent, but I think I'm going to quickly for Q&A session, I'm going to quickly mention. I'm sure we're going to get questions about the switching of in between visas. Is one of the most asked questions, is how we switch from skilled worker to global talent, and can we actually do it? And I think on the Q&A session we'll dive into this more, but yes, there's a possibility that you can switch from skilled worker to global talent. And yes, the time that you spend on skilled worker as main applicant can be combined towards the settlement that you're going to be applying for maybe at the end of 3 years. And I have had people doing this. So it is possible, and your time is being pointed towards the global talent. And And just a quick mention of available, but it has become stricter. So under 10-year route, but with the 2025 reforms. But I think global talent still stays one of the most advantageous immigration routes ever for switching patterns, for any gaps that you sort of have while travel and while doing your work. So we're hoping that the global talent workforce that the government has published, which they said that they are investing 54 million pounds onto innovation funding, is hopefully for the sake and for the benefit of all these people who are potential candidates of global talent visa or innovator founder visa, even people who want to sort of set up businesses. And overall, we can't really talk about the change that's going to happen after February, but we shall all see the new and potentially unfair changes that's going to affect a lot of people, unfortunately. So to conclude, I can say that the UK Global Talent Visa is, particularly in the digital technology pathway, is remaining one of the most valuable immigration routes available currently. And although the 2025 potential changes streamline the application process while maintaining high evidential standards, the Tech Nation's reappointment and system gaining stability and the offering applicants and employers a clear, predictable way, because if you're on global talent visa, you don't need to have a sponsorship. It's still very attractive to employers and to applicants. So for applicants who can demonstrate strong leadership, innovation, commercial or technical evidences, impacts, you're more than welcome to come to us for assessment as to your eligibility. And I hope it has been useful to know all about this. And if you have any Q&As, I'm more than happy to assist you. So thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much. That was a very comprehensive explanation of pretty much everything about the Global Talent Visa. And I'm going to just have a look at if you have any questions. And one of the questions that I had in mind, I would like to go ahead with that one first while I look at the other Q&A. So I was particularly thinking about this. So for example, there's a friend of mine who is in cybersecurity. And so, but how does he know that what kind of experience is enough to demonstrate leadership in cybersecurity? Does he have to have a product in his name? Does he have to demonstrate like years of experience working in an organization? What really counts as evidence for leadership in a particular field?
Thank you for this question. It's really good. So, as I have previously mentioned, we first need to know where they stand, where the potential candidates stand. Is it a potential business skills applicant or is it a potential technical applicant? Is there a specific cybersecurity product that's being marketed out there? Or is the person actually working behind the kitchen? So it's like you can imagine a restaurant. Are you cooking the actual food, or are you serving it, or are you the executive chef who's serving it? So we need to know the details of what the person's actually doing within such sector, because it's a niche sector, and we need to know if it's a product that they're working on. As I said, it might be a product-based leadership result that he's getting, maybe managing a team of 10, and he's the only person supervising and making an impact in the whole product for cybersecurity. And that way, and depending on what the product is and what the company is, yes, they can use their expertise. But if it's just one other person who is, for example, playing on the lagged links of cybersecurity, or someone who we sort of like, if we have security issue, or if we receive a spam email, as a law firm, we call our IT team, and they just they sort of run a virus check. That's not something you can say that you're a leader in the cybersecurity way. It has to be something product led, either on the commercial side, selling it, making revenue, or either on the technical side, making it perfect for everyone out there as a leading company, or as a leading person. So that way, we need to show that the applicant has made a measurable impact within the cyber security field. So you have to have your contributions counted as someone you would expect from a leader.
Right.
So you
There's one
provide
question
this.
that we have from the Q&A, and it's
Mhm,
about so actually there are two questions, and I'm going to combine both together
mhm,
because they are very similar to each other. So it's about this, that if there is an engineer who is a mechanical engineer or an electrical engineer and has worked on a digital product, for example, an electric car, for example. So there are many things that are involved in the technology behind an electric car, or maybe a self-driving car.
mhm.
So there are engineers involved who are not directly part of the coding process, but they are involved in the technology. So are they eligible for to be a technical applicant, or do they have to be a part of the digital technology directly?
So, I mean, I think they have a potential to be as leaders, but again, our assessment will depend on what the contribution that they will provide us with. So it's imagine it's you have to act yourself, or your solicitor will have to act as the endorsing body. When I see the piece of evidence that you bring to me, am I going to be sure? Am I going to be able to confirm that yes, this person is a leader? So whether you're working on the digital side of it, or whether you're working on the product side of it, you need to tell me what contributions you've made, and how does it differ from everyone else that's doing, or that's working in this business, that's working not even in this company. How are your contributions differ from people in this sector who is doing the same thing as you? So if you're telling me that you're working on the product side of things, and your contribution made an impact of how fast the charging will go about of the electrical cars, then I see there's a point in you telling me that you're going to be a leader in this field, or you're a potential leader. So this will depend on your background, how long you've been working in this sector. So I can assess it in the way of whether it's a 3 years application or a 5 years application. So are you a promising leader, or are you an exceptional leader? If you're an exceptional leader, then I don't think you would be asking this question, because I would be asking some other questions in return. But I believe that person asking this is a potential to be a leader, and therefore the contributions matter. If you if you tell so strong evidence can include major engineering projects such as energy, automotive, aerospace, manufacturing, robotics, so sustainability, renewables. Tell me that your role you're leading a role in the design, optimization, development of systems, machinery, or process. Tell me that you're leading, because having the high level of contribution, therefore leading, is what will sort of make me consider, what will make the technician consider that you're either eligible, or you have the potential to be considered as eligible. Therefore, the contribution is what matters. You can be designing a product, and that design of products is so niche that it will get the revenues rocketed. That way, you don't have to be writing the codes up, but the design that you make to a product which is digital is making an impact, and also making a revenue. Obviously, you can show that with figures.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
We have a very, I think it's a pretty simple, straightforward question, this one. And it's this, that you've mentioned product led. So does this include SaaS-based softwares? Are we considering those as products as well?
Sorry, self-based products, you mean?
SaaS-based software as a service, SaaS-based software. So
Mhm.
there are services, but there are products as well. So that's
Mhm.
where the question is it does it have to be a kind of a physical product, or it can be a software as a service, which is a product actually?
So it's very confusing, as I said. The technical part of it is easier than the business skilled part of it. And if you're so generic service-based products is not going to get us the it's not going to give us the leadership grab of the application. It's not going to get us to the point where we can get the technician endorse you as leaders. I need to know what the service is. I need to know what that. So if it's something combined, I would assume it's something like cybersecurity. So it's not something that you can touch, but it's a software that will protect your, for example, company. Maybe you work and you partner up with so many law firms. You're protecting them, but it's a cybersecurity. And at the same time, your service, your commercial awareness towards that service product is also something that have changed the game, that made you the top cybersecurity application in the whole UK or in the whole America. So depending on what the product is, and also depending on what your I'm so sorry, and depending on what your impact in making that product commercially selected and expanded, that's what's going to determine whether you're going to be a successful applicant, eligible applicant, and a leader for this type of work.
Thank you for that. So we have another question, which is about um, basically experience. How do we show experience? So for example, somebody might have worked in the same organization for 15 years, while others may have worked in different organizations, and some people might have worked in a digital technology company for 3 years, and then with a break of 10 years after that they joined another company. So overall they have an experience of 20 years, but out of that only they have 4 year experience with digital technology. So what do they go for? How do they actually weigh their experience, and how do they show it?
So as I said, the so you either 3-year candidate or the 5-year candidate will be assessed based on their background. If you have less than 5 years, then depending on your age and how long you've been in the sector, you can go for whichever one suits you. So as I said, if you're someone who hasn't been in business for 10 years and then suddenly goes back to business, again, we'll look at your last 5 years to consider you as 3 years or 5 years. If you're someone who has just come out of university and has applied for a funding for a very brilliant idea and wants to start their own business and actually starts it, but they only have 3 years of experience, then that will be considered under 5 years, for example, because they don't have any previous experiences. But you having a 10-year gap in between is not going to necessarily make you a 5-year, because I know it seems the requirements for 5 years is more favorable than the 3-year requirements. But having worked in the sector for 10 years, but having a 5-year break in between is not going to make you a 5-year eligible applicant. You will probably be still considered as a 3-year applicant because of when you have started working. Doesn't matter whether you have a gap in between or not. It's how early you are at your career is what they look for.
Right. I have another question, which is actually I'm going to build on that question a bit. So it's more about for example, somebody has a particular publication, a blogging
Mm.
website, or something like that, which is related to digital technology, but they are not involved directly with it. And similarly, for example, somebody we've talked about product led companies and contributions, but what about, for example, somebody has written a book, or
Mm.
somebody has does podcasts with top of the line professionals in the industry, but it's a podcast. So how do we see these evidences, and how do we include them?
Okay, what I can say about academic contributions again is it was one of the optional criterias out of four, as we mentioned before, and this criteria is intended for, you don't need to choose this, but if you are opting to choose this, or if you want to go for this evidence of having academic contributions recognized as leader or potential leader in the field, then this criteria is intended for applicants involved in research. So if you've never worked in a company who have built a product, or if you have not worked in a company where you have had the product and you have sold it and increased its revenue, but you were on the research side, then you need to give me the academic recognizable publications. So as I said, any magazine or any Facebook or like Instagram published articles, research or outcomes is not going to give me the evidence I want, whatever it is your field. So there's a different source in cybersecurity. There's a different source, different website for all the recognized publications for gaming sector. There's a different one for venture capitals, for Silicon Valley and etc. So whatever it is that you've researched and you have it published, whether it's a book, whether it's an article, it has to be from a recognized source. Me writing articles on LinkedIn is not going to be recognized as active research, as active contribution, which can be counted towards Technation. They're not going to accept it. Technation within itself will look for the research that you have conducted or the publications or the talks that you have. As I said, as previously mentioned, TEDx talk may not even be necessarily applicable to Technation visa. It's the content. The sources there is very so TEDx talk, for example, within a technological event or week event may include you as one of the technological research speakers. That way we can use it. Otherwise, London Tech Week, being a guest speaker at London Tech Week, it will be, it will have a heavy weight on being recognized as a leader, maybe. I need to know the content of the talk to actually decide whether it should be on a 3 year or whether it should be on a 5 year. But academic awards, so did you have an award for the publication that you've had? Did you have a research fellowship? So has any university funded you for your research? I need to know this. Or has any university-based digital technology project contributed towards your research? I need to know this. Having money from a company to do a research, so experts or expat reports is not necessarily going to get you the fulfill the academic contributions. It has to be from a recognizable source.
Thank you. And that actually reminds me of another question, which I had in mind myself, which was this that there are sometimes some companies or individuals apply for certain grants
Mhm.
that are there for like competitions or grants by councils for particular products. For example, they want to improve a certain, sustainability, points somewhere in their council, and they want a digital tool for that, and they give out a grant for that. So if somebody has worked on those grants, would that be a good evidence?
I mean, if you have an eligible prize, which is listed on Tech Nation's website, so we can have a look at it, and if you have one of those eligible award and prizes, You can be automatic. So you can apply for it without an endorsement because, as I said, in August 2025, the system changed. So it's now all one form. And there's an option where you can choose, I have an eligible prize. So if you have one of those eligible prizes or the eligible awards, then yes, this will give rise to applying for the talent visa automatically. You might not necessarily even need a lawyer for submitting the visa application. It's just we ask people to, families, in fact, or people who are divorced to be very careful because unfortunately, when you're a divorced parent and you're coming into the UK with your child, you get a refusal. So you have to provide the reasons as to why you're taking your child to the UK. Even though UK recognizes you as a talented person, you still have to justify, even though you're automatically endorsed, you still have to justify why your child is traveling with you and not staying with the divorced father in wherever that person is, or the mother wherever that person is. So the handicap with these visa applications is that yes, automatic endorsement mean you have the global price, but the visa side of it, be careful before you make such applications.
Perfect. I think as a solicitor, you are the best person to advise on these matters, these cracks in the system that can be very hazardous if we don't take care. Thank you for that. Um, so just I'm going to take the last question,
Mhm.
and which is about this, that if we have a patent or for a product, it is a digital product, it might not have done great,
Mhm.
but we do have a patent on it. Does it help?
Depends on what you have had a patent for, because it can either it can either fall into the optional criteria of innovation. It can either fall into the optional criteria too, which was recognition of the applicant's occupation in terms of beyond the applicant's occupation, it can be recognized as product. So depending on what it is, it might be classed as an important point. So the matter is, you got a patent, but why did you get it for? What it is for that will make the endorsing body think that yes, this person has the leadership skills, this person has the innovation to take his talent visa beyond. So I need to know that they produced an innovative work in the digital sector that they have patented for.
That's great. Thank you so much. So we just have one query basically, that how can people reach out to you for
Mhm.
an assessment? So if
Mhm.
you are okay with that, I'm going to share the last screen again so people
Mhm.
can have a look at your contacts, and
Mhm.
they can probably then contact you for an assessment.
Mhm. Of course, you can contact me on LinkedIn. You can contact me on, via email,
We have the email.
and
That's
you have.
great.
So
So
yes.
thank you so much. I'm just going to quickly mention a few things about Legend Consults as well. So while we understand, that the global talent visa application is actually, it's just like making a case. That's why the solicitors are there. It's making a case for your talent. So it's
Mhm.
not something very objective. It is quite subjective in many ways. How you demonstrate, how you find the evidence for being a leader. So because leadership itself is not an objective thing. So that is why trying to find the best way to apply for it requires you to properly make a plan, and don't dive into it just without any proper planning. And that is where the solicitors come in, and that is where a business consultancy like Legend Consults also comes in. So what we do is that we help people both in the case of Innovator Founder Visa and Global Talent Visa to make the case. So we prepare them for example, how to get the letters of recommendation, how to for example, if somebody comes and says that I do not have the recognition, I do not have um, um, uh, the evidence of speaking at an event. So what we can do is that we can help you to collect that evidence, gather that evidence, or find ways to actually create that first. And once we have those evidences with us, then we can make the case for you. And then after you have these credentials with you, you can move on to the next step, which is with the solicitor, who can make the documentation and make the case, just foolproof. It has to be, yeah, it has to be perfect when it goes to the endorsing body. So that's what Legend Consults does, and that's where we do webinars like this for all kinds of different visa options. And you are most welcome to, just like you can contact Buket for it, you can contact Legend Consults through advice@legendconsults.com, and you can visit our website for our phone, and you can add myself on LinkedIn as well. So this is what we do. So we make the case for you. Actually, it depends a lot. So I cannot say that this is the only way we can do it. We make the case for you because every case is different. Sometimes we would recommend that maybe we should get you into a TEDx talk. Maybe we should get you to become a keynote speaker, or maybe we should look at your product because your product is good. So let's work more on collecting evidence for your product. Sometimes you may have, vendors, and you may have customers who have benefited from your product, but they haven't given you a good review on it. Sometimes those customers, for example, there's a big company for which you have made a digital product that has changed their way of doing business and has impacted the whole industry, for example, but you don't have the review from the client. Then we will find a way to present that evidence. And then once you have those in hand, then you can move towards the process of application. So this is what Legend Consults does, and it has been great to talk to Buket. I hope you've
Thank
all had
you.
a good time, and I hope all the questions were answered. We hope to see you again in another webinar. If there's anything you would like to say, Buket, before we sign off.
I mean, I think you've said all the good things, so I just want to say thank you for hosting me as a guest speaker, and I appreciate the fact that you have given me an opportunity to present the criteria to people and the do's and don'ts, and I appreciate the way that you help your applicants. I know that not many people are able to or know the way to present their cases. Even to the stage where they contact lawyers. So your help will definitely help them get to that stage. And after the legal stage, then obviously we will further assess it. But thank you very much for the opportunity to talk about this. And yes, hopefully in the following weeks we'll come back with another topic. So thank you to Legal Consults for hosting me
Thank you
and
so
everyone
much,
who joined.
everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you, and goodbye for now, and we'll see
Bye.
you again. Thank you.